Division clubs are in for the first time. The bookmakers have Rangers installed as favourites, with Celtic not far behind. After the Old Firm, it's Hibs at 12-1, and then Coca-Cola Cup winners Aberdeen and Hearts. Raith are at 16s, and First Division Dundee United are rated a better bet for the Cup than 4 of the Premier teams. Further down, the highest rated teams outside the top 2 divisions are East Fife and Ross County. And then right at the bottom, the longest odds of 5,000-1 are reserved for Keith and Whitehill Welfare.
Just like it says in the song, Kilmarnock have picked themselves up, dusted themselves down and started over again after a horror start to the season. And plenty of the credit for that is down to the form of Steve Maskrey. Oh, and the fact that it's good to talk.
We had one meeting earlier on in the season when we lost the first 6 games, I think. The manager had a talking with us, and it seemed to work, and ever since then I think we've gradually improved.
The teams produced a marvellous match at Rugby Park just 2 weeks ago when Kilmarnock won after being 2 goals down. But despite that, the Ayrshire club know Hibs at Easter Road isn't exactly the tie they would have chosen for themselves. But in Maskrey, they have a Tennant Scottish Cup. Good luck, Chatham.
The supporters have taken to me straight away. I think that all started in the Scottish Cup last year after I came on at Morton and scored a couple of goals. Since then, the supporters have been absolutely fantastic with me.
Has given Kilmarnock a 2-0 win over Hibs at Easter Road. Those goals take his recent tally to 8 in 9 games. All of the details this afternoon to come in Afternoon Sports Scene. Now let me fill you in on some of the other results as we can have a quick look now over the video printer. Hibernian 0, Kilmarnock 2. There it is, confirmation that in blizzard conditions this afternoon, Paul Wright, a stunning lob. Wait till you see that one on Sports Scene Match of the Day tonight in the 54th minute. And again, Wright in the 63rd. So Hibs, that's really wrecked their season. And we can now take a result from that Hibs against Kilmarnock match at Easter Road. Let's have a quick sample of some of the early action from Easter Road, described for us now by Jock Brown.
Well, Kilmarnock carrying the game to Hibs in these early stages, showing their confidence after their good run recently. Right to Black, that's well struck.
Well, that was one of the very few attempts on goal in the first half, but in the second half things changed around, and Kilmarnock had the man of the match, Paul Wright, to thank for going through the 4th round. In 54 minutes, after Hibs had been on the attack of the corner kick, the ball was cleared upfield and Paul Wright went through the middle in his own, saw Jim Leighton off his line and beat him with a stunning dipping volley. A great goal indeed in 54 minutes. 10 minutes later, it was Wright again, released in the breakaway, goes past Jim Leighton at the edge of the box to a very tight angle, looked up and chipped the ball with a swerve into the far corner. 2 goals you really must miss on Sports Scene Match of the Day. Kilmarnock thoroughly deserved the win. Hibs were flat. They didn't have the briskness or the freshness of Kilmarnock, who had one blight in the afternoon, and that was when Ali Mitchell was ordered off for a blatant kick at Chris Jackson 10 minutes from the end. Alec Totten, I'm sure, will have harsh words with him. But Kilmarnock, excellent winners.
Scored both of Kilmarnock's goals in the victory at Hibernian.
Kilmarnock. You said that, Larry. We'll play Heart of Midlothian or Partick Thistle.
Thanks very much to Bill and the others across there at Easter Road. Well, we'll be getting reaction from Alec Totten at Easter Road in just a few minutes about that draw, because Kilmarnock will be playing either Hearts or Partick Thistle, and having beaten one half of the Edinburgh duo today, they may indeed have to play the other half. But let's take a quick look at the recap of the draw for the 4th round of the Tennant Scottish Cup. So it's Clyde or Dundee against Rangers. Dundee, of course, the Coca-Cola Cup finalists last year, and they went to Ibrox in 1985 and they won 1-0, so they will fancy their chances, but of course they first have to dispose of Clyde. And then it's Clydebank or Stirling Albion against Motherwell or Aberdeen, and those Premier pair face each other on Tuesday night. Whitehill Welfare or Celtic, and Dave Smith and the gang will be delighted that they're still in the draw at this stage. They could be playing Raith Rovers if, of course, they dispose of the holders, first of all. Celtic won 2-1 against Raith Rovers, I should tell you, at home in 1980. That was the last time they played Raith Rovers in the Cup. Dumbarton or Airdrie against Forfar. Berwick Rangers or Dundee United against Dunfermline or St Mirren. We could have the high flyers of the first. Well, we promised you an interview with Alec Totten to get his reaction. It's a home draw and he's now talking over there at Easter Road with Jock Brown.
I watched the tension in the face there, Alec, when that draw was made. How did you feel about Hearts or Partick Thistle coming out?
Well, I think it was a hard game today, obviously away from home, but all you can ask for in any cup tie is a home tie, so we're delighted. Hard team to beat at Kilmarnock, but obviously Hearts are going very well just now under Jim Jeffries, and then Partick under Murdo, so whoever we get I think will be a cracking tie.
In all honesty, would you have preferred one of the lower division teams?
It doesn't matter who you get really. I mean, obviously it was a very difficult game today and we come here and we beat Hibs, so irrespective of who you get in the Scottish Cup, to me it's a tremendous competition, exciting competition, so we're at home and with our loyal support, well, you can't ask for any more.
Tell me the importance of the Tennent Scottish Cup to a club like Kilmarnock. After a tough start to the season, coming into form now, what does it mean to still have this cup run to come?
It means a great deal. As I said before, Jock, I've always had a great regard for the Scottish Cup. You know, financially it's tremendous for the club, good for the players, I mean for the community. The Kilmarnock fans have been fantastic since I've arrived there, you know, so they deserve success. It'd be nice this season they got it in the Scottish Cup. So we'll take each game as it comes. It will be a tough tie, obviously, but if you get a good run, it's tremendous for the town of Kilmarnock.
As a football manager, to have come through a game like this afternoon and within about 20 minutes have to think about a draw coming up, is that a problem for you to switch from game to game?
No, I just take each game as it comes, that's all you do. I mean, I think every manager lives from Saturday to Saturday. Very precarious game, football, but we just take each game as it comes. I mean, that's in 1996, we haven't been beat yet. It's all credit to the players, they've been magnificent really since the turn of the year. You know, they worked extremely hard, I thought today especially, played all the football, you know, and the goals were something special.
You haven't had the chance obviously to talk to the players about the draw because they're still downstairs coming out with a bath, but what reaction do you think they will have for this game coming up?
I think I'm delighted, Jock, because we're at home, and I said before that's all you can ask for, because we're a hard team to beat at Kilmarnock, you know, a good record there, especially this season, play some great football, fans are right behind us, they encourage us from step to step, so as long as we're at home the lads will be quite happy.
Well done today and good luck. Thanks very much, Alec.
Thank you very much, Jock. Thank you.
And indeed you will be able to see that Hibs against Killie match tonight on Sportsy Match of the Day.
Sheer enjoyment it wasn't for Alec Miller as winter snapped back at Scottish football. Alec Totten needed windscreen wipers to improve the view from the dugouts. It was Hibs against Kilmarnock at Easter Road this afternoon and the Stars were in stripes. With 9 Tennent Scottish Cup matches frozen out, it wasn't too difficult to pick the best of today's third-round ties. Hibs against Kilmarnock at Easter Road. The Edinburgh team had won only 3 of their last 13 games. Kilmarnock hadn't lost in 5 and beat Hibs a fortnight ago. Braving the wintry weather was Jock Brown.
The bleakest of weather scenes in the capital city. The snow has been falling and there's a fierce, bitingly cold wind. But the pitch at Easter Road is protected by the undersoil heating, so there's no problem about this cup tie going ahead. There's a shock return to the side for Graham Mitchell after being injured in the first match of the season against Stenhousemuir in the Coca-Cola Cup. It's a big gamble to play him this afternoon. And the Hibs manager, Alec Miller, has been forced to take that gamble and the selection of David Farrell after a 9-month absence because of injuries to Gordon Hunter and Stephen Tweed and suspensions affecting Pat McGinley and Darren Dodds. Former Hibs striker Paul Wright scored a spectacular goal in the league match between the clubs at Rugby Park 2 weeks ago, and his total of 6 goals in the last 8 matches reflects impressive form. And there are no selection troubles for the Kilmarnock manager Alec Totten, who names exactly the same starting 11 for the 5th consecutive time, leaving Tom Brown, who's fit again, on the bench with Colin McKee and Ray Montgomery. The match referee this afternoon is Mr. Stuart Dougal from Glasgow. So a big match for both clubs, who'll be hoping for a long cup run to give their season some purpose for the closing stages. Hibs in particular anxious to get back in the rails after a very poor spell. The last 13 matches, only 2 victories. Darren Jackson has been working very hard both in midfield and up front to turn things Hibs' way. Well, the big risk to the match, if any, would be the question of the snow lying and obliterating lines. So there is the vantage point enjoyed this afternoon. Mitchell making for the byline. And the first corner kick of the match. And this will be a tester for the goalkeeper, Jim Leighton, with the wind swirling around the stadium. Well, Jim Leighton was out for a long time in the warm-up trying to adjust to these treacherous conditions. So we'll see the fruits of his labours now, perhaps. Here's Mark Reilly with the corner kick. You see the wind blowing so fiercely the ball can't be spotted easily. Gary Mitchell, the linesman, protecting himself against the wind. Headed away by O'Neill. Played in by Mitchell. And a very good effort the second time. Leighton saw that late. He thought there might have been offside this stage, I think, the goalkeeper, but Ali Mitchell, very good shooting power on both sides. Right foot shot initially, then left foot shot. Tortolano's clearance. Well timed by Wright. Farrell matching the run made there by Holt and giving Leighton a problem. Steve Maskrey was very sharp there for Kilmarnock. Having a very good spell of form, Maskrey. John Henry trying to turn, tackled by Jackson. That's Mitchell again. Now Paul Wright. Excellent tackle by Chris Jackson. Well, Kilmarnock carrying the game to Hibs in these early stages, showing their confidence after their good run recently. Right to Black. That's well struck. Carefully watched by Leighton. These balls frequently can swerve in flight, and Leighton treated that with great respect. It's sweetly struck by Black. Hibs throw taken there by Millen, helped inside by Keith Wright. There's Jackson. Error there by Anderson, allowing Keith Wright to win possession. That's O'Neill. Awkward. Good save in the end by Lekovic. You could see the bounce just in front of him there. It could really have troubled him. Derek Anderson will be mightily relieved. His error allowed Keith Wright to set up Michael O'Neill for this shot at goal. Look at the way it reared up from the bounce. Well, a very interesting midfield contest going on. Chris Jackson marking John Henry in central midfield. Mark Reilly doing exactly the same on Michael O'Neill of Hibs. So each side with a defensively minded midfield central player and a creative one. Maskrey well tackled by Millen. O'Neill picks out Jackson. That's for Wright. Taken late by Whitworth. Well, he's going to be booked for that. Well, it was a very good move from Hibs. A yellow card shown there. And Neil Whitworth complaining, I think, that he was genuinely trying to play the ball. Certainly beaten to the ball by Wright. He seems to be none the worse. That's O'Neill's free kick. Well, one inside the area by Whitworth again. Hibs seem to be coming to grips with the game now after a slow start. Whitworth's header collected here by Farrell. Well taken by Lekovic. Well, this kind of ball could be very dangerous for goalkeepers in these windy conditions. Good judgment. Alec Totten, like Alec Miller, I'm sure, racking his brains to produce a little bit of a tactical adjustment which might give his team the edge. Chris Jackson forward, Darren Jackson's layoff. O'Neill looking for Farrell. Black trying to play it over the top. The covering player had to be sharp there. It was Graham Mitchell. Well, he's been a great servant to Hibs since joining the club on Hogmanay, last day of 1986, from Hamilton Accies. And that was his position there. He was the spare central defender with Hamilton before he came here to become a very effective left back. That's a very good shot from Holt. And the player diving in was Paul Wright, looking for a touch. Jim Leighton's not happy. Well, the defence is caught out here. Simple throw. Gary Holt taking that effort, and there was Wright flying in there. Now, Paul Wright was inches away from this. You can see that as he dives. Mitchell's header. Maskrey against Love. Still in play. Here's Mitchell. Wright and Holt wait in the middle. Mitchell gives a second chance. Here's Paul Wright back towards Maskrey. Well, there's certainly a degree of anxiety creeping in when both sides get near the penalty box. There was Mitchell playing that in, held up in the wind, but David Farrell judged it well for Hibs. Skewed the header though a little bit and gave that shooting chance to Maskrey. Well, it's a bleak scene this for Alec Miller to contemplate. He certainly has tightened up his team defensively. Whitworth looking for Wright. Certainly not the kind of service Wright relishes. O'Neill playing it forward. Darren Jackson giving problems there for the Kilmarnock defence. And almost squeezed that in. Lively, energetic play by Darren Jackson. It almost paid off. Here's McAllister. Headed away by MacPherson. Goes Farrell. Chris Jackson returns it. O'Neill towards Wright. Trying to take that on the turn with a hook shot. Would have been a very difficult exercise for Keith Wright, but Darren Jackson doing well. Strength and determination. And couldn't quite get that into the net. Still looks very lively up front, Jackson. Good challenge by Tortolano. Neil Whitworth's clearance reaches the roof of the main stand. Here's Darren Jackson. Again, he's found room for himself. David Farrell. Well struck. Good effort there by Farrell. Lekovic treated that with great respect. The throw it is to Hibs, but this was good play again. David Farrell coming as close as anyone so far, opening the deadlock. The pass came from Darren Jackson. He measured that, took it first time. Look at the ball swerve. McAllister, and no chance to press home the attack. Referee Dougal brings this first half to an end. It's been very even indeed. Kilmarnock starting very brightly indeed, but Hibs forcing their way into the match as the first half developed, and it's very evenly balanced at this stage. It's Hibernian 0, Kilmarnock 0. Kilmarnock playing down the Easter Road slope for the second half, looking for the sharp start they had in the first half. Certainly troubled Hibs in the early stages before they settled down and took something of a grip in the middle of the field. Chris Jackson putting in some very good tackles at that stage, and Michael O'Neill getting on the ball more frequently. Kilmarnock always lively and always threatening when they come forward. Bit of barging there by Andy Millen on Steve Maskrey. It's a free kick to Kilmarnock. And very interested spectators, the smiling figure of Dave Smith, the Whitehill welfare manager, who will have his team here tomorrow to face Celtic. That's good link-up play again between the two Jacksons. Pass easily cut off by Whitworth. Holt to Reilly. Now MacPherson, Kilmarnock captain. Wisely wearing gloves. Well, two of the players doing the same. Here's Ali Mitchell. His 10th season at Kilmarnock after Arriving from East Fife. That's a good cross. And a very good chance there on the run. Steve Maskrey lacked a little bit of conviction there, attacking the ball on the near post. That really turned out to be a very good chance. Engineered by the good wing play of Ali Mitchell. An excellent cross to near post. Maskrey attacking that. Covering player doing well though to turn it away for the corner kick. Leighton relieved. He's some work to face now, and he has to adjust to changing ends now with the wind conditions. That's Mitchell. It's away by Graham Mitchell. McAllister leaves that to Love. Holt plays it in. Good defending by Chris Jackson. And a very lucky break there for Leighton. That deflection of Graham Mitchell falling kindly for him. Well, some very loose defending there by Hibs, and there was Paul Wright who strikes the ball normally so well. Sting taken out by Graham Mitchell. Darren Jackson leading the line. Good ball towards Keith Wright. He can't get away from Whitworth though. He's quick enough in the turn. Wants Keith Wright to play the ball out. Didn't manage it though. This is Michael O'Neill. David Farrell, shooting chance. Closed down very rapidly indeed by Tom Black. He had to be. Well, Farrell's found some very good positions around the box in the match. Michael O'Neill picked them out so well. Look at all the space he had here, but Tom Black came racing out there to make the block. Graham Love's in the box, so is Andy Millen now. Sent in there by O'Neill. Couldn't get it beyond MacPherson though. So there's a disappointment there for Hibs. Back with Mitchell. The offside flag was up, but the play continues here with Paul Wright. He had a chance now to take on Leighton. It's a wonderful goal by Wright. Terrific dipping volley by Paul Wright, and that was intentional, all right. The Kilmarnock supporters celebrate. The advantage rule applied there with an offside decision flagged at the other end against Hibs. The referee allowed play to continue here. But look at this. He knew this would dip over the keeper, and Leighton there had no chance of preventing that. So 9 minutes into the second half, Paul Wright gives Kilmarnock a precious lead with his first sight of goal. Well, what a great scoring record he's got. His 7th in 9 games. And his 11th of the season so far. Taunton could scarcely believe that. I think he stood looking on disbelievingly for a moment as the ball hit the net. McAllister now racing into the area. Good determined running. Oh, that's a great turn. Chris Jackson trying to turn. And the ball held up there in the wind. Lekovic gets there. Tortolano. So there was the cross from McAllister. Now there was Chris Jackson trying to find space there on the turn. Led in by McAllister. Well won there by Derek Anderson. So Mitchell playing it long. Whitworth wins it comprehensively. That's a good layup again by Darren Jackson with just a number of these. Good running here by McAllister. Eased off the ball by Holt. Well, the edge of the penalty area too. That was brave defending by the youngster. Maskrey. Played forward there by Farrell. Here's Keith Wright. Jackson there to O'Neill. Good effort. Lekovic knew little about that. He's in the net there, but bundled there by Keith Wright. Smile by the keeper. Well, a bit of good fortune there for Kilmarnock. The shot here from Michael O'Neill, very awkward, bouncing awkwardly, came off the shoulder of Lekovic. Now this was very dangerous. Keith Wright just gave him that little nudge to ensure he landed in the net. It's at this point the ball seemed not to be in the net, only when Keith Wright made contact. That's Anderson. A miscue with the pass. Lekovic out of his area. Here's Darren Jackson going round him. And help there for Lekovic came from Derek Anderson, who made the initial mistake. Well, Lekovic made up his mind. He's enjoying himself. Doesn't seem to be too troubled by the cold. Coming from Central Europe. Jackson. Cleared by Holt. Here's Paul Wright against Millen. Maskrey goes to the right, McKee to the left. Mike O'Neill spots Tortolano, picks him out well with a pass. Chris Jackson in trouble there against Mitchell. Long pass to retrieve the situation. Careless clearance though, allowing John Henry to pick out Maskrey. MacPherson. That's well taken by Leighton. McKee coming in very quickly to try and get on the end of that pass from Paul Wright. Hibs now stepping up the pace, trying to get back in the match. McAllister getting a lot of the Hibs hopes now in attack. Farrell takes the pass from O'Neill. Here's Darren Jackson. Not a bad effort that by Darren Jackson in these conditions particularly. So here's McKee. He's away from Millen. Little side flick there, a great save by Leighton. And he's made it again. Leighton keeps Hibs in the cup. Well, some great play there by Kilmarnock. Jim Leighton on his own there to keep them at bay. McAllister holding off Holt. Farrell looking for Darren Jackson. Whitworth's the marker. Awkward there. And Paul Wright is away from Jim Leighton. Oh, that's deadly finishing. Magnificent play by Wright. He's done it again. It's brilliant play. Oh, he has such good feet. And a mistake there by Graham Mitchell, but it's first of the match. And Paul Wright took the ball beyond Jim Leighton. Now look at this for coolness and for accuracy. Flighting the ball into the corner. Well, Graham Mitchell just back in the side, misjudging that in the wind. Jim Leighton trying to tackle, which didn't come off. Still a lot for Wright to do, but he did it brilliantly. So 2 in the match. His 12th of the season now. His 8th in 9 matches. And Hibs a long way back now. Well, Taunton checks with the watch, but that second goal must make a huge difference to the Kilmarnock prospects here. Here's Millen. Chris Jackson lofts it in. That's Farrell. Great save by Lekovic. There was no offside there. Farrell again, the goal-scoring chance from Chris Jackson's lob. You can see Whitworth played him on. Didn't get enough power in the shot. Here's Weir again. Right to Weir. Good ball back inside. Here's Darren Jackson. A very good clearance by Whitworth. That's misjudged by Tortolano. Off goes Mitchell. Chris Jackson did very well indeed there to halt his progress. And a little bit of a tangle after that challenge. Now, the tackle from Chris Jackson was perfectly fair, but then came a little gratuitous kick at Jackson. The referee, Dougal, red card, Danny Mitchell. Well, his reaction to Chris Jackson's tackle caused the problem. Mitchell is on and off, and it's for the second time this season he's on and off against Falkirk in October. I'll tell you something, if Kilmarnock don't win this tie, I suspect Alec Totten will have harsh words to say to Ali Mitchell. Darren Jackson now breaks. Keith Wright through the middle. On the left is Harper. What can he do against MacPherson? Keith Wright back to Harper. And Michael O'Neill couldn't get over that rebound. Well, Lekovic has been able to get his body in front of everything Hibs are thrown at him. He's done it again here. Keith Wright teed it up for Harper. It's a good block once again by Lekovic. Here's Montgomery. Dorflana quick to cut that off. Whitworth towards Reilly. In goes Chris Jackson. Good play by Henry. Wow, he's another very fine player for Kilmarnock this afternoon. Couldn't get power in that left foot shot. Prefer it in his right, I'm sure. Very professional performance from Kilmarnock since they took the lead. Seldom look in trouble. Here's Andy Millen now, allowed to come forward. The marking now tight. Good running by Harper. Back with Millen. Darren Jackson. It's about a consolation now, I think, for Hibs. Turned away there for the throw, which McKee can take. Within more than a minute and a half of injury time. Can't be too much more. Hooked away there by Holt. And indeed, there's no more time. Kilmarnock are in the fourth round. Alec Todd and Alec Miller exchange handshakes. But it's Kilmarnock who take the honours without question for an excellent all-round performance, punctuated by two outstanding goals from Paul Wright. But over the piece, Kilmarnock with a better side. They deserve to go through. And for Hibs, it's a very sad end to the cup run. Coming in the third round only, and they found Lekovic, a man they couldn't get the ball beyond when he required a bit of luck. He had it, but it certainly was luck which Kilmarnock deserved. They ran out good winners by 2-0.
I thought conditions, as you say, Jock, were deplorable, really. You know, the most important thing in Scottish football, I think, is the fans, you know. They're the lifeblood of the game, and I thought it should have been a packed house here today, but it wasn't, because a lot of people maybe couldn't travel from, like, say, Kilmarnock because of the conditions. So obviously the game was playable, but it should have been off, I think, because of the conditions, because you've got to think of the fans, and we had a bigger support. If the people could have come from Asia, you're talking about, you know, 4 or 5 inches of snow there, so obviously that deterred them.
Do you think it made a difference to the standard of play overall?
Well, possibly, but we tried to play football. We tried to take the game to Hibs, you know, and I think we thoroughly deserved to win here. I said to the players after the game, the good thing coming here, it's always very difficult, Easter Road. But having said that, we come here today, we scored 2 magnificent goals, and we thoroughly deserved our victory. A
word about the goal scorer, Paul Wright. He scored both these goals and has gone to a very rich vein of scoring form recently. What's the big difference in the last few weeks?
I think confidence. I mean, the reason I took him to Kilmarnock is because he did a good job for me at St Johnstone. He did a great job for them too. But I think the fans of Kilmarnock can see now why I bought him. Obviously, it was a record signing for the club. Chairman, directors were tremendous at getting us the money, but Paul's proved to everyone now why I brought him. I mean, he's got a great touch in the ball. You know, he brings other people into play. He makes goals, he scores goals, and that's 12 goals this season. It can be a lot more, a wee bit of luck. But he's worked really, really hard. He came in to see us earlier on this season. He said, I'm finding it hard. I said, well, the only way to get the fans on your side is to work your legs off. You know, if you do that, if you're not scoring, they'll stand by you. He's done that, and now he's scoring. And I thought the 2 goals today, Jock, were absolutely magnificent.
Gordon, if he was a Brazilian. No, we're not going to use that cliche, but Paul Wright's finishing really out of the top drawer, wasn't it?
Tremendous. There's a lot of criticism for Alec Totten for buying him when he came to the club at first, but he really is proving a good buy now, and I think he's turned around a lot of the Kilmarnock supporters who were a bit disappointed at first that at that kind of money he wasn't doing the job, but he doesn't score many bad goals, Paul Wright. Let's look at his first one today. He spotted Jim Leighton off his line. He did. It was the ball's played through here. A significant factor here is the ball's played in. As we can see there's a linesman there with his flag up, and what happened there was it was offside. The referee's here, and he sees him playing there. It's just played completely on there, and Paul Wright's gone through and just hammered it over the keeper, and it's a great finish because that's just a long ball played through over the top. Hibs defending was pretty bad, it's got to be said at that point, but look at this. The ball checked up for him. He knew he was slowing down as he took it forward. He wouldn't be able to take that ball quickly forward. Spotted Jim Leighton off his line and just decided to have a go, and that's a brilliant finish. That Jim Leighton can't be faulted. He's exactly where any keeper would be. 6-yard box. he's given them the most difficult thing to do, which is to chip them, and he's managed it.
I thought you pointed that out really well with your white pen as well. But if that was a good one, the second one for me anyway was even better.
The second one was a good goal as well. It's another long ball. I mean, it wasn't a day for football, really. The conditions were horrendous there. Graham Mitchell just misses that. Jim Leighton decides to come, doesn't quite make it, but look at this finish. He looks up, sees people in the middle, decides he doesn't need them. That's a player playing at the height of his confidence, really. I mean, he scored a great goal and he knows that he can score again there. It's a lovely chip, but you know, Whitworth's long ball there, over the top, catches out the whole Hibs defence. Jim Leighton plays a sweeper. In the modern game, most goalkeepers are out on the edge of the box. Jim Leighton comes out, misses it there, look at that control, lovely touch, and just chips it into the corner of the net. It's a great finish.
So you don't fault Jim Leighton at all there?
I don't fault him. I think the first goal, he's exactly where he should be. The second goal is he's got to make a decision as whether to come. He's in behind his defence. They have missed a long through ball, so he has to come. He's just been beat by a split second and a good skill by Paul Wright. He's managed to get past him, and I think that he may have stayed in his line, it wouldn't have been a goal, but I think these are decisions that have to be made in the spur of the moment. Jim Leighton normally reads those situations very well.
Alec Totten thought the game should have been off. What did you think?
Well, having travelled through from the west to the east, I would agree with him. I think it was horrendous conditions. It was never going to be a good game because of that sort of weather. I mean, it just spoils it. The wind's blowing a gale, the snow was coming on and off, and I think the players under the ground conditions were bad as well. And I think basically the game should be cancelled so that people, the fans, have got a chance, as Alec Totten says, they shouldn't have to travel through there.
And Gordon likes to drive so much he did it again tonight. There were four other with the back page of the Sunday Mail. Rangers to Nick Dennis. According to the Mail, Rangers are set to snatch Dutch hitman Dennis de Nooijen from under Celtic's noses. Totten wins, then blows his top. The Hibs Kilmarnock game at Easter Road. We heard Alec Totten suggesting that game shouldn't really have been played. An avalanche in the snow. The back page of Sunday Times. Scotland Rangers plough through Keith 10.